Hi everyone, and welcome to another video from DisplayRepair.com. If you have a handbrake problem on your car, if it's not working properly, this video might help you. We'll show you how to check if the handbrake actually works and some causes of problems. So stay tuned. DisplayRepair.com. Be sure to visit us at our website DisplayRepair.com, where you can find more useful car and driving tips. Before we start, we must mention that this video applies to the classic handbrake system, which is perhaps the most widespread. Electric handbrakes are not included, although the basic principle is more or less the same. Also, we're showing this on a stick shift, a car with manual transmission, but a lot of what you'll see can be applied on a car with automatic transmission also. If you want to see more information about the handbrake and how to properly use it, click on the link in the corner of the video or on the link in the description. Here's a simple way to check if the handbrake works, and this check you can do by yourself, in your driveway, a parking lot, or else. Of course, the right thing to do is to visit an MOT service, as they have special machines for this called brake testers. But if you don't have the opportunity, this should do pretty well. First, park the car on a leveled surface or one with a mild decline. Pull the handbrake to the maximum. Start the engine, press the clutch and shift into first gear, since this is a stick shift. Now, while the handbrake is engaged, slowly release the clutch. If the handbrake is okay, you'll notice that the rear part of the car is slightly leaning and the car doesn't move at all. This is a sign that the handbrake is okay. But if the car moves, even slightly, then you should check the handbrake system as soon as possible. Once again, make sure that the handbrake is properly pulled. Especially check out the handbrake system if the car freely moves forwards and backwards while the handbrake is pulled. This is a sign that the system probably doesn't work at all. This is usually accompanied by an unusual feel on the handbrake lever. It may be either flimsy or stiff depending on the problem. After the test, if you've concluded that the handbrake doesn't work properly, here's a couple of usual reasons. Low brake fluid level. Although on some cars the handbrake works independently from the rest of the braking system, like with drum brakes for instance, check the brake fluid level nevertheless. A loss of fluid may point to other problems that may impact the handbrake. Besides the low level on the container, you may notice a softer brake pedal and possible weak hold of the handbrake. Usual reasons for leaks are a damaged brake cylinder, damaged caliper seals, damaged brake lines, or else. Stuck or damaged braking cables are by far the most common reason for a handbrake problem. Since the cables are attached to the floor of the car, they are always exposed to road conditions. This leads to filth and rust getting within the cables, which can damage the cables or completely snap them. You'll notice this reason by the feel of the handbrake. A loose handbrake usually means the cable has snapped and there will be no resistance when pulling. When the cable is stuck, like due to rust, the handbrake will be stiff, very hard, or even impossible to pull. Also worth mentioning is that the cables may stretch over time due to material fatigue, and this can oftentimes be solved just with tightening them. As mentioned, if you notice a frequent loss of brake fluid, check the rear brakes for leaks, especially if you have drum brakes. Disc brakes are much less prone to this fault. You'll notice the problem of damaged brake cylinders, caliper seals, or else by the mentioned frequent loss of brake fluid, a softer brake pedal, and traces of brake fluid around the brake drum or disc. The handbrake will be easier to pull, but the hold of it will be weak. Of course, if the brake pads or brake shoes are worn out, then the handbrake won't work properly. You'll notice this by a softer brake pedal, low level of brake fluid, and the handbrake will have a weak hold or won't hold at all. On this part, we must mention that worn out drums and discs can also cause problems, although this is much more rare. The moment you notice any of these symptoms, check out the brake system. Don't wait, especially if there's a frequent loss of brake fluid. Although in most cases you can drive with a damaged handbrake, it's not safe and may be a sign of a more severe problem with the brake system. The handbrake is also called an emergency brake for a reason. It's a redundant safety system for braking, which means that keeping it in top condition is of huge importance. One more thing, if you do regular maintenance on your car, especially regarding brakes, you should, if not completely avoid all of this, then seriously reduce the possibility of problems. So that's it for this time. Please like and subscribe, it's a huge help for what we're doing. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.